And welcome back. Our final segment here at the Fuel Ethanol Workshop and Expo in Indianapolis. We're very happy to have with us the president of Marquis Energy, Mark Marquis. Two ethanol plants, Hennepin, Illinois, and one in Wisconsin. Is that right?
That's correct. Necedah, Wisconsin. We have Marquis Energy, Wisconsin.
Tell us a little bit about your company and a little bit about not only your past, but I know you're very much looking to the future as well, and that's what we want to talk about, some of the advancements, some of the technology that you use.
Yeah, we're excited about the future of ethanol. We think it's the fuel of the future to help lessen our dependence on foreign oil and to make good value out of our agricultural products. And so we operate a 100 million gallon plant at Hennepin, Illinois on the Illinois River. We're able to ship then our ethanol and our DDG by water or by rail, and a fair amount of our product goes for export, both ethanol and distiller's grain. And then our plant in Wisconsin is a 50 million gallon plant. Both were built by Fagan ICM, and both operate above nameplate capacity. We're just happy to be in the industry.
How are things going now? I mean, high corn prices, how's that impacting your bottom line?
You know, when we've had high fuel prices, high corn prices work okay because the ratio stays the same. If you can afford a higher feedstock cost if you've got a higher final product value. So it's been fine. We're looking forward to a good crop this year. It's something that is important to the corn-based ethanol business.
What are your thoughts moving into cellulosic ethanol production?
You know, I think that the corn ethanol is the segue to cellulosic, and I think cellulosic will most likely become commercialized by being added on to a corn-based ethanol plant where you've already got infrastructure, you've already got logistics, you've already got a management team, you've got experience in the fuel business. It'll be the most cost-effective way to see cellulosic really come on and produce some major gallons of ethanol.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the transition for the industry. Those plants, those biorefineries are already out there, but as we look to move to the future and how you will transition, be flexible in moving to other products and other types of production, how do you see that working out?
Sure. I think now that the ethanol industry is large enough, scale size-wise, to really attract a lot of research and development, there are enhancements, efficiencies. I think these cellulosic plants will be kind of you might take a 100 million gallon ethanol plant and hang a 25 million gallon per year cellulosic plant on it, and the two together will have a good synergy. And I think it's the wave of the future. That, along with what we call production creep. Every year, everybody tries to get another % or two out of their ethanol plant. And so right now, we went through the big growth mode in 2008, 2007. And now we're looking at production creep, and the move towards some cellulosic is probably the next future.
I don't think the industry gets nearly enough credit for the advancements in technology that are being applied here. So many critics of ethanol try to stereotype the industry as something from 20, 30 years ago and not acknowledge the efficiencies of technology that are being applied now.
Yeah, I think almost every ethanol plant has a better conversion rate, the number of gallons of ethanol they get per bushel of corn, than they had just 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. They're using less BTUs to produce a gallon of ethanol. They're using less water to produce a gallon of ethanol. And so the efficiencies just keep rolling. And as the industry grew large enough to really attract the R&D, that's where a lot of this advancement's coming from.
And a point we tried to make all along to critics, saying this industry has been, and really in many ways still in its infancy stages, just now starting to develop some of those technologies and apply them. It took time to get there, and it will take more time to continue to implement.
That's true, and I think another segment of that is we need more market penetration. You know, if you look back that 10 years ago, the ethanol was 1% of the U.S. fuel supply. Today it's 10% of the U.S. fuel supply. We need to move to E15, to blender pumps, to E20, E30 in order to keep ethanol helping lessen our dependence on foreign oil in this country.
Now, we are broadcasting from the Eisenman booth, and we talk about clean air and energy technology. Some of the technology that they offer, you're using in your operation.
Yeah, we've had a good long-standing relationship with Eisenman. Their emission control devices are quite effective. We have a regenerative thermal oxidizer that controls emissions at our Hennepin location in Illinois, and we have a thermal oxidizer that Eisenman built at the plant in Wisconsin. So we've used their technology, it works well, and we have a good relationship with Eisenman.
For those of us not technically inclined, when you use those kind of terms, oxidizers and things like that, what are you really meaning there? What are you saying?
Really, what we're doing is we're incinerating the emissions so that they don't go to the atmosphere, and it helps us meet our air quality standards requirements. And Eisman's well known in the ethanol industry for helping these plants to run clean and be a friend of the environment.
A lot of people may not realize all the regulations you have to meet to have an ethanol plant in operation.
Yeah, we have clean air permits, clean water permits, and the ethanol industry is really a clean industry, and it helps reduce not only tailpipes emissions, but our production emissions go down as well.
I want to go back. You touched upon, because one of the criticisms of ethanol has been how much water it takes. Now, a lot of that water is really recycled water, I know, and the amount you use is going down, right?
Yeah, our ethanol plants are a closed-loop system. The only water that we discharge is just out of an enclosed loop in our cooling tower. So we really don't have any negative effects at all on water quality around our plants.
And on energy use, that has really changed over the years too, using much less energy now.
The plants use a number of heat exchangers in order to reuse BTU heat energy, and that technology keeps evolving and keeps improving, and we use less BTUs today than we just did 2 or 3 years ago. And so, it is an evolving industry where improvements are made every year.
Getting back to cellulosic ethanol, as we move forward to that, do you see any one feedstock kind of taking front and center on cellulosic, or do you think it'll be a combination of several?
I think it'll be multiple feedstocks. In the Midwest, where we grow a lot of corn, no doubt corn cobs and corn stalks are going to be a player, but tree bark, tree waste, wood waste, municipal waste, there can be a lot of feedstocks that are currently waste products that can generate clean burning ethanol for motorists in the U.S.
Cellulosic ethanol hasn't developed commercially yet, maybe as quickly as some would have liked, but it's going to take time, and we keep pointing out that corn ethanol is really the bridge to that next generation.
It is, and we need to be sure that the political environment stays positive toward ethanol so that the industry is here and healthy, both from the viewpoint of plant founders like ourselves, but also from the finance community. They need to know that our government's behind it, our political leaders are behind it, that motorists are behind it, so that cellulosic can come on the market in a meaningful way.
And we talk about the jobs that are created in your plants. How many people do you employ?
Yeah, between both plants and all the logistics groups, about 140. And, so it does bring jobs to the U.S. rather than to the Middle East, and that's obviously positive for our economy.
Mark, good to hear from you. Thank you. Great to hear about your plants, and good luck as you move forward.
Appreciate your time.
All right, really a good insight into the new technology that's being applied to the ethanol industry, and a look to the future as we move towards cellulosic. All right, that's Mark Marquis, president of Marquis Energy, and again with ethanol plants in Illinois and Wisconsin. With that, we wrap up our broadcast from the Eisman booth here at the Fuel Ethanol Workshop in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thanks for joining us. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about biotechnology, some of the things going on at a conference in Washington, looking at some of the issues surrounding biotech crops and animals. Hope you'll join us for that. Thanks for being with us today on AgriTalk, the voice of rural America.